Several days ago, Brother Edmund asked me to speak to you all today. So he said, this is a youth group. So I heard youth group, I said, double A, different frequency, old man like me. They said, this group very mature. So I asked him, what's the age group? He said something like 18 to 24. It's mature enough. So I thought, for young people, what should I talk about? At first he suggested some Dhamma topic. I thought that would be a bit dry. So I remember a few years ago, there was a doctor in Singapore. He was a plastic surgeon, I think, do this Botox and all that, beautifying women. At first he intended to be a specialist doctor, but then he thought, it's a faster way to make money by becoming this type of plastic surgeon. So he opened his clinic. It seems the first year, he was already a millionaire. And later he got a few doctors under him, 6 doctors or something like that. But at the age of 40-something, he suddenly got cancer. And he was dying of cancer. And then he went to his old university, I think in US, and gave a talk to the students. He said how he was so ambitious before. All he wanted was to make a lot of money. And he had become so rich, he bought Ferrari, Porsche and all these things. But at the age of 40-something, he was dying. And then he regretted. He said, money is not all that important. So I thought that kind of talk benefits young people. Young people, you're about to embark on your life. You've got to have a direction in life. So it's good to learn from the experience of others. So I thought I'll talk to you about my life. My life is in the opposite direction. I was born in Kuala Lumpur, 1947. I grew up in Kuala Lumpur. My parents were Penang Baba Nonya. I went to a Catholic school for 12 years. Never learned Mandarin. And because I was in a Catholic school for 12 years, I was very interested in the Catholic religion. So much so, I used to go to the chapel every day and pray. So, some Christian brothers, they noticed. So after school, they organized a special class for a few of us who were very keen on the Catholic religion. But then, when they organized this special class for us, many of us had doubts. And we will argue with them. And at my time, those brothers were Irish mainly, some French, some Canadian, all that. And they were very nice people. So nice that probably today I'm a monk because I was inspired by them. And many of them died in Malaysia, never went back to their country. So it was a life of dedication because of their religion. So, what were the doubts I had? They said, you have to baptize, otherwise you'll never go to heaven. So we think, if a person is not a Christian, but he's a good man, and he helps people, does not do evil, doesn't sound logical that he has to go to hell forever and ever, isn't it? In the first place, why make hell? You make hell to put somebody there, isn't it? Don't have to make hell. Make everybody go to heaven, isn't it? It's a kind of questions as a young man we ask. They could not give us a satisfactory answer. And then they say that God knows everything, God knows the past, the present and the future. And then we think, if God knows everything, when He makes somebody, He knows in the future this person will go to heaven or hell. If He sees this person is going to hell, put on hold. Why don't put on hold? You continue to make that person and then he goes to hell forever and ever. So all these doubts made me leave the Catholic religion because at one time I thought I was going to baptize also. So after that I went to the University of Malaya, studied engineering 1967 until 1991. And then I graduated and I worked in the public works department as an electrical engineer. Shortly after graduating, I saw my friends one by one getting married, usually pairing off with another university student. But somehow I had the feeling that was not the way I wanted to go. I had a feeling there was a motive in my life. I was looking for something, I didn't know what it was. So, in my last year in the university, I had a friend who was very interested, a Chinese Malaysian, very interested in Hinduism. So he influenced me. I also got interested in Hinduism. So when I started work, after a few months from Kuala Lumpur, I was posted to Johor Bahru to look after the new section, starting an electrical section in Johor State. So I used to write to India, write to America for these Hindu books, Ramakrishna Math, Self-Realization Fellowship in California and all that. I started to learn meditation on my own. And I was very inspired by some of these Hindu yogis. They were so sincere and they strove so hard. Some of them had psychic powers. And some of them had some of these qualities from the past, like Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna, as a small boy, one day I was walking in the fields. I looked at the sky. The sky was so blue and so beautiful and so white. When he stared at the sky, his mind opened up like the sky. He entered that absorption state. His whole body fell down. So in India, there are many sincere yogis who in the past life already cultivated many lifetimes. So, and then after about 3 years in Johor, I was posted back to Kuala Lumpur, worked in the main public works department, workshop, and then after that, I was sent to the general hospital to take care of the engineering department for less than a year. Then I was promoted to Kuantan, in charge of the electrical and mechanical maintenance of a very large military base in Kuantan, about 10 kilometers from Kuantan town. Then it was there that things started to happen for me. Because being in charge of the electrical and mechanical installations in that military camp, those military people, they often wanted the help of the public works department, so they were very nice to me. By the way, that was a senior engineer's post, so I was promoted after 4 years of working to a super scale post. Many people work in the government service all their life, also never get promoted to a super scale post. But my karma was so good, after 4 years I got promoted. And that base was so big, it has a air force under a colonel, it has a brigade under a general, it has a recce unit, 3 units. Recce unit was under a colonel. And so they invited me to stay in the army officers' mess. I stayed with the army officers, they gave me a room. And I ate with the army officers, ate in the army style. Always there's a Batman standing beside. You eat already, and you put your fork and spoon together, they come and take your plate away, and they serve you coffee and all this. And then in the evening, we'll drink beer. So, mixing so much with these army officers, it was days of wine, women, and song. So, after half a year, doing a bit of a wildlife, I started to have dreams about ghosts every night. Every night I dream of ghosts. I asked myself why. Every night I dream of ghosts. Then when I started thinking, I thought when I was young, I was very into religion. Now I left religion for some time. So I thought there must be a spiritual vacuum inside. So I started on a spiritual search. I went back to studying Hinduism, studied the Bible again, studied Sikhism, studied Baha'i religion, studied the Tao Te Ching, all the major religions of the world I studied. But when I wanted to find a Buddhist book, I could not find. Then one day, I went back to Kuala Lumpur for an engineers meeting at the Public Works Department headquarters. Then I passed, in PGA, I passed Thai Wat. Then I looked at the Thai Wat, they had a lot of trees. Unlike our Chinese temples, it's all concrete. But the Thai Wat had a lot of trees, so I thought it was quite beautiful. So I drove inside. I walked up into the hall, the main shrine hall. I saw a big Buddha statue there. That time I was not a Buddhist. Mentally, I spoke to that big statue. I say, you're supposed to be a holy man. Why don't you show me your books? I've been looking for your books, I cannot find. 3 days later, my nephew, who comes from a very staunch Catholic family, brought me a Buddhist book. So after reading the book, I found it was very logical, not like other religions. Other religions just ask you to believe. That's all. I don't ask too many questions. So I went to the Sri Lankan temple where the book came from in Kuala Lumpur and got other books. And then even went to the University of Malaya. At that time they still had Buddhist books. I went to take the Buddhist books and study. I found it very hard to understand, but I continued studying. Then the basic concepts I slowly began to understand, like impermanence. Everything in the world is impermanent. And because of impermanence, everything must change. But there are certain things that give us happiness in the world. That also has to leave us because of change. There's a coming together, there's a parting. And also anatta, non-self, etc. That there are destinations of rebirth that are painful, woeful planes of rebirth, that you can be reborn, not only as a deva or devi, but also as a ghost, as an animal, and even go to hell. This was all very frightening. And then I started studying, things started to happen for me. Conditions were right. One by one I saw people dying. In my office, I had a lot of Malay workers. One had cancer, and then he went for radiation. Over the months, I became thinner and thinner and thinner and died. Another one just bought a motorcycle. The next morning, he used the motorcycle to go to the mosque to pray. After praying, he was going back to his house for breakfast before coming to the office. On the main road, he got hit by a lorry and dragged. So it was all scraped up. When I came to the office at 8 o'clock, I heard that this man had died. And the cops were already in the mortuary in the general hospital. So I got a few office mates and we drove to the hospital, to the mortuary. You know, Muslims, Malays, when they see their dead relative, they're not allowed to cry. But when they brought the grandmother saw the grandson all scraped up like that, and she shouted so loud, "Choo-choo, choo-choo," and cried. So that was really something that moved you. So that was the second one. Third one was because that big military camp has a large sewerage treatment plant. Asked the men to work on servicing the motors. So I was walking around looking, and I saw one worker went to a corner, squatting in the corner. I thought it looked like he's not well, so I left him alone. After half an hour, I saw he was still squatting there. After 40 or 45 minutes, I still saw he was still squatting there. I went to ask him, "What's wrong with you?" He was clutching his heart. He said, "Sakit, Tuan, sakit." Cold sweat. So I knew he had a heart attack. I asked him, "Can you walk?" He said, "Can." I said, "You go into that room, go and lie down." So he went to the room and lied down. I phoned the army captain, asked the army captain to come. 15 minutes later he came, examined the man and he said, "Heart attack." He said, "Must call an ambulance." So he phoned for the ambulance. Took another half an hour for the ambulance to come. So this man had laid down about 45 minutes. He was feeling better. Ambulance came, brought him to the general hospital 10 kilometers away. And then so happened the man inside the ambulance, another Malay man, knows him. So they started to chat. And because he was feeling better, I sat up to talk with this man. When you sit up, your heart got to pump up and pump down. When he reached the hospital, another attack, he died. So after he died, he was staying in the government quarters. So we had to ask the family to leave. Out of compassion, we let the wife stay another 3 months. And after that, they have to leave. Then the kampung people built a wooden house for the family. And she had to sell kueh, sell dumplings and all that kueh to survive. So it was another sad case. So that was the third one. Fourth one, one day I asked the men to change the runway bulbs, runway lights. Because this military camp has a runway. It was used by military planes as well as civilian planes, even up to today, I think. So they were changing the bulbs on the runway and I was walking up and down. And there was a big day coming up. So the jets, at that time they were training. At that time they were using turbine jets. So the jets would come down, come to the VIP stand. Then past the VIP, as they come towards the VIP stand, they come low and they flip their wing. And then go vertically up. It's like salute. So they come, flip their wings and go up. So I was walking up and down, I was observing. Then one plane came down, and they flipped its wings, hit the ground, and somersaulted and burst into flames. When I saw, I got a shock. I thought, is this real or imaginary? It looks like a TV show. So we all stared. And then somebody shouted, "It can explode anytime." So we all lay on the ground and watched. And then the plane was burning, and you see, you have a very disturbed feeling. Somebody is burning inside there, needs your help. You want to go and help, but you dare not go because it can explode anytime. Then after a while, the fire truck came and put out the fire. Later we learned there were 2 pilots inside there. As he somersaulted, one was beheaded. Another one was burned to death. So this was the 4th one I saw. Over these years, when I was working in the Kuantan. The 5th one day I was driving to Kuala Lumpur for an engineers meeting. Around Mentakap there, the road was winding and going up the hill. I was trying to overtake a long trailer, a long lorry. Very difficult to overtake because the road was winding. I kept following very close, looking for an opportunity to overtake him. Suddenly, around the bend, I saw a motorcycle come from the other direction. And there happened to be a rock on the road. The motorcycle hit the rock, fell in front of the lorry. The lorry hit him directly. I saw him fall down. I stopped the car. I ran towards him and thought to help him. The concussion was so great, the helmet fell off. Not only that, knocked him so hard, the top of his head here opened up like a tin can. I could see the brain, the white brain. And the white brain very quickly turned red. And then the blood started to flow out. And he was twitching, whole body twitching like a dying rat like that. So I just stood there and did some chanting for him. I was so intent on chanting, I forgot about the lorry. The lorry man came down and then walked towards me. Then when he saw, he got a shock. He said, not his fault and all that. I said, I understand. Then he went off and he drove off. Then only I realized I forgot to take his number. So he went off. Then I kept chanting, and that time, East Coast, no, very few cars, no other car came. So until this fellow died, then I went off to make a police report at the next town. And the police didn't seem very excited. I think this must have happened maybe several times. They asked me to make a report. I made a report, and then I went off. They never asked me to see them again. So you see, these 5 deaths made me see the Buddha's teaching is so true. And life is so uncertain. You think you're old only, you can die. Not for sure, In the middle of the life, when you're enjoying life, suddenly you're called to go. So from there, I got more and more into Buddhism. And then I started to form the intention to become a monk. After you learn the Dhamma, then you find the best profession is to be a monk or a nut. Then slowly dawned on me, this was what I was looking for. When I was young, I thought I had a motive and objective. This was what I was looking for. A lot to do in my past life. So I thought, if I want to become a monk, I have to start practicing. So I started to become a vegetarian as a layman. So I started vegetarian practice. By that time, being ignorant about the supplements and all that. When I go with my colleagues for lunch, I just order char kway teow, which is just kway teow plus the tau ghé, nothing else. So eating like that, not enough nutrition, my hair started to fall. My hair started to fall, my mother got very worried. Then I thought, if my parents were much older than me, if I want to become a monk, I have to leave something for them. So I took a government loan and bought a house. Government loan is normally repayable in 15 years. Then one day I told my parents, I had this intention to become a monk. My father got a shock. He said, people got no job, no money, bankrupt already, no other way, only think of becoming a monk. You got a good job. You got a good job, why you want to become a monk? His eyes turned red, So I knew he couldn't understand, so I never mentioned to him again. Then I told my mother said, wait until I go. And then I thought, her mother lived up to 100 years old, I want to wait for her to go. At that time, my heart also linked. No more interest. But then every 6 months, I remind her. So I wanted to go to America because I was, at that time, there was one Mahayana monk, a Chinese monk in America, supposed to be very strict. And then his disciples all Putautan is they never lie down to sleep, They sleep sitting up. So I started to practice sitting up as a layman. Very difficult, You try to sleep like that. After a while you fall one side. I say, after a while you fall the other side. Sometimes you fall forward. That's not so bad. The worst is you fall backwards. When you fall backwards, suddenly you wake up like a heart attack. So this happened quite a number of times. So after that, what I do, I go against the wall. I go sit. And then I sit until I fall asleep. I knock my head. Then again sideways. Then what I do, I put 2 chairs and 1 plank in between. I put my hands on the plank and sleep. But sleeping that way is very uncomfortable because your stomach is so cramped like that. The most 2 hours you get up already. So you don't really have a good sleep. So one day I was driving to work, 10 kilometers the road. On the road, I fell asleep, asleep, and the car coming my car veered to the other side of the road, and the car coming from the opposite direction was horning, and then I woke up. Then I saw the car quickly swerve to one side. Nearly had an accident. So, finally, you'll be able to sleep when you're too tired. When you're too tired, I sit any position also you fall asleep. But it takes a lot of determination. So, after 5 years in Kuantan, I was posted back to PWD headquarters in 1980. Just before that, my father passed away. So I saw more dukkha. Then, at the end of 1982, I thought I was ready to become a monk because that 15-year loan I paid up in 4.5 years. The people were very surprised, the financial people. People want to take longer to repay the loan instead of 15 years, I pay in 4.5 years. So just before I wanted to resign, I got another letter of promotion. Want to promote me again, So I thought this must be Satan's trick, trying to stop me from becoming a monk. So I went to see the big boss. I said, I don't want a promotion. He was surprised. People fight for promotion. Here I'm given a promotion, I don't want. So after that, I put in my paper and resigned. At the end of 1982, I went to America, stayed in this Mahayana temple. That Mahayana temple is a very difficult place to stay. There was 2 or 3 other people who went with me, also intending to become a monk. After 1 month, they all left, except me. Why? Because you start the day about 3 o'clock, you get up. And then between 3 and 7, you do 1 hour of chanting, 1 hour of meditation, 1 hour of Pai Cham, bowing repentance. You recite Namo, the Buddha's name, then you bow, and then you come up again, and then you bow. So 1 hour. So after that, about 7 o'clock, if you want to take a bath, at that time you take a bath. Then taking a bath is another cultural shock because we are used to taking a bath in the bathroom, You go to America, GI style, no room, all naked, bathe together. Very susah, we're not used to it. And then, 7 o'clock, we start work on empty stomach, No breakfast, never mind. No coffee also, no tea. Drink water only, then go and work. And very tough work because that monastery is an old mental asylum. Abandoned mental asylum. 273 acres. Hardly 10 men, about 20 women. And men have to do all the hard work. Carry the Buddha statue from Taiwan, dig hole to plant trees, plant apple, plant orange, plant bamboo shoot, all these things. So, a lot of hard work. Then by 10:30, I have to go and ring the bell and do chanting. Then 11 o'clock we eat up to 12. After eating, you want to take a rest, cannot go and lie down. Let's go and work again. Go and brush your teeth. By 1 o'clock, let's go and work again. Again, do all this tough work until about 5 o'clock. Then we come back and do chanting 1 hour again. Meditation a while, and then bowing repentance. And then about 8 o'clock, listen to Dhamma talk. Listen to Dhamma talk. All the men who were going like that, half asleep. And then some of these Americans, they are very cholo, very, the word is very coarse, they're very blunt. I used to get scolding every day. Small things. We Asians, you want to tell somebody off, also paiseh. They know straight away, hantam. And then there's one British monk, he was so sleepy, he was going like that. This American monk took off his shoe, the monk shoe, knocked him on the head. Not used to see how to say. And then the master, when I read his books, he's like a holy man. But I went to stay with him, very different man. Every day shouting, ego very big, temper very big. A lot of shameful things to say, they not say. So, because of his attitude, he get senior monks to spy on the younger monks and all that. So it's very stressful. So stressful. One of the Vietnamese novice monks, there were 3 of us novice monks. The other 2 were Vietnamese. One of them committed suicide, hanged himself. All this you don't hear. You stay there and you know. So at the end of it, I got disappointed. I left. And then I came back to Malaysia. By the way, when I went there, I was 120 pounds. After 1 year, I was 96 pounds. Because we were eating one meal, and vegetarian meal. And that vegetarian meal also, because they don't go for alms round, they go to the supermarket. Those old vegetables that the supermarket doesn't want, they bring back. Old cheese, old butter, all this expired one. We eat all that. So, at the end of 1985, I came back to Malaysia. Then I had a lot of doubts about Mahayana. I thought, how can my teacher, after becoming a monk for 30 over years, is this type of person? So I had doubts about Mahayana teaching. I wanted to go to Thailand, but I didn't know where to go. The only monks I knew were Mahayana monks. So I was not willing to go back to lay life. Some people in my position would have lost faith in Buddhism, gone back to lay life. But I wanted to continue as a monk. So I went to this Mahayana monk in Penang, whom I knew, in Hong Fu Si, and I went to see him. At that time, Keloksi Temple, they were having the higher ordination, end of 1985. So this Mahayana monk, he likes me, so he asked me to stay with him and ordain. So I stayed with him and then I took the higher ordination, Mahayana ordination in Keloksi Temple, 1985. After staying a few months, I saw that the practice of a Mahayana temple is not like the Buddha's time, very different from the Buddha's time. Buddha's time, monks will go into the forest, meditate alone, beg for their food and all this, which Mahayana monks don't do. Mahayana monks, the practice is eating vegetarian food, chanting, doing work in the monastery. So, very different. So I wanted to go to Thailand. Then, after a few months, I think around March 1986, I went to Thailand. Thailand, at first I went to a famous monk. At that time, Ajahn Yantra. He was so famous, a few hundred monks will come to his monastery, stay for a few days. After that, they go off. After a while, another batch of a few hundred monks will come. So I was not happy. I wanted to go off. Then he knew he also liked me. He knew I wanted to practice. He asked me, "You want to stay alone?" I said, "Yes." Asked me, there's a new kuti at the edge of the monastery, at the forest there. So you can go and stay there. I went to stay there. That night, a tiger came. It was only a wooden kuti, wooden kuti, and the tiger walked around growling. Because it's near his place of residence. I was thinking, wow, if we push the door will fall down. And then after that he left. So, after that I went to look for a Teochew monk who stayed in Malaysia, Ipoh, 25 years in a cave monastery. I knew him before, so I went to look for him. And I stayed in his cave monastery. His cave monastery was quite special. It's a hill. You have to walk halfway up the hill, about 100 feet. And there's an opening. And then you walk down to the middle, at the bottom of the hill. There's a dark cave. The only light comes from the top. There's an opening. Only from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. There's some light coming in. But I was told to be careful because it's a limestone cave. There's a lot of holes, There's a lot of holes. And because there's a lot of holes, there's a lot of pythons. So they told me they have seen pythons as big as your thigh. So I stayed there. And those Teochew monks, they take breakfast and they take lunch. But at that time, I had already been practicing 1 meal a day for 3 years. So I wanted to continue 1 meal a day. And then I was taking vegetarian food. But every day at 4 p.m., these Teochew monks would drink tea. And that tea is in small cups and very thick, Very thick. So when I joined them, I got gastric problem. Developed gastric problem. For years, up to now, only thing I have to control. If I take fruit juice, if I take chili, it'll come up again. Then one night, I was sleeping in the dark cave. There was a passageway. Passageway is not very big. So I was sleeping on the bed, wooden bed, something like this. And the walking space only about 2-3 feet, like that. About 3 a.m., a python came back, And then you hear the sound of the python, it's a huge fellow. Why? Because it's dragged his body and stopped. Maybe I just eaten a goat or a dog. Drag the body and stop. Normally a snake will just go silently like that. This one was so heavy that he has to drag his body and stop. Drag the body and stop. I pretend I didn't see. These big snakes, you cannot use a torchlight. If you use your torchlight, they come up. They're not afraid of you. So just kept quiet. Just went by the side. Went into some deep hole. So that's quite an interesting cave. So I stayed there for a few months. Then I went to Wat Pananachat. That's the place, Ajahn Chah's branch monastery, where most of the monks are Western monks. At that time, Ajahn Pasano was the abbot. So I spent the Vasa there. After spending the Vasa there, at the end, after the Vasa, I went back to the cave monastery. Then the old Teochew monk there, he organized for me to go Tudong. Tudong is Long Pa, wandering, just walking anywhere and beg for your food and sleep in the forest or sleep in the cemetery. So from there, from Ratburi, we walked down to the border, Padang Besar, the Malaysian border. So then there was 1986, and because I want to say something about Wat Pananachat. When I went to Wat Pananachat and stayed with them, I found the lifestyle is in a forest monastery in Thailand. It's very different from Mahayana temples. Every morning about 5:30 or 6 a.m. It's already bright. We go on alms round. We walk 2 or 3 kilometers, beg for our food. And Thai people there, they are very respectful. If the monastery nearby keeps the Vinaya, keeps the precepts, then they are very respectful. Sometimes you are walking, the villager is going on his bicycle. If he comes from the opposite direction, he will get down from the bicycle. He will hold the bicycle, put down his head, wait for you to walk by. After you walk past, then only he goes up on his bicycle and goes again. If it's a woman, he will put the bicycle on the ground, squat on the floor, Anjali, put the hands together, wait for you to walk by. Then only she'll go on the bicycle again. If they come from behind you, they dare not overtake you. They go very slowly. So they are very respectful because the monks keep the Vinaya. So there, after Pindapata, we come back, then do a bit of sweeping the footpaths, then 8 o'clock we eat. One meal only. But it's a solid meal because whatever we get, we eat. So it's not vegetarian food. So at least one good solid meal. And then a lot of the time, the daytime is left to the monk to do whatever you want. So our time is spent reciting, like what you did, the chanting. A lot of the Pali chants have to recite and memorize. And you can study, they have a very good library. You can study the discourses of the Buddha and all that, and other Buddhist books. And then evening we come together for some work. Like some trees, big trees fall down, we saw the tree, keep the wood to use as firewood. Because they want the firewood because they boil the water to wash their robes every 2 weeks, dye their robes. So it's a different lifestyle altogether from Mahayana monasteries. But you feel happy because it's something close to what the Buddha's time they were practicing. So then in Thailand, when I wanted to go Tudong, this wandering, then you learn you have to give up vegetarianism. I was a vegetarian for about 10 years because I was in Mahayana Buddhism for 9 years, 6 years as a layman and 3 years as a novice monk plus a monk. So when I went Tudong, becoming a wandering monk, I find I have to give up vegetarian because you know why? Some of the people are so poor. You go and bake the whole morning. You only get white rice and one hard-boiled egg. Where you can choose, you cannot choose. Sometimes you get white rice and one small fried fish. That's all. But you live that type of life because your intention is very pure, your precept is pure. You seldom fall sick one. You eat little also, you don't feel weak because you are inspired. Then, because of visa problem, after 1 year I came back to Malaysia, early 1987. So I thought I want to continue to practice like a monk during the Buddha's time. So I went to Ipoh to look for a cave to stay. But all the good caves are taken up by fortune teller, taken up by other people. So the devotees found for me a dark cave, very dark cave, quite a huge cave, quite a big cave, bigger than this. It seems during the Second World War, 200 young women went to hide there. They're afraid of being raped by the Japanese soldiers. So there's bats living up there. So at first, I saw the cave was so dark, I dare not go in to stay because caves, as I know, got python and all that. So to enter this cave, you have to crouch low because the entrance is quite low. And then you go inside. But the other end is a opening, brighter. So I went to the other end to sleep on a ledge, on a rock ledge. But then I found it's not so good because in the afternoon it gets hot. And then when you sleep out there, you meditate, you can hear the sound of traffic. It's a bit hot. The advantage of a cave, staying in a cave, firstly, it cuts off the outside noise. It's very quiet. The other thing is, inside the cave is cool. Day and night is cool. So, I stayed 2 nights there. And the second night, I had a strange dream. I dreamt that this cave where I was staying is at the bottom of a hill. And this hill, there are 4 devas. They came to see me. They saw me sleeping there. They came to see me. So, the leader was seated on a chair. The others were standing around him. When I look at them, they look quite awesome. Like an Indian deva like that, And because they were staring at me, then I look at myself. Hey, I also look like a deva with the Indian deva dress, And then I woke up. And then I realized they wanted to tell me that they accept me as a member. So if I stay in the dark cave, no harm will come to me. So I went inside the dark cave and stayed. And then in the morning, I go on arms round, I go to that village. Perak state, that state I was staying. They are not used to wandering monks. It's not like Penang or Kedah or Kelantan. They're used to Thai monks coming and begging for food. There, they never seen a monk begging for food. So when I went to the marketplace, beg for food, they all stared at me like a monkey. And nobody knows how to give me food. So I thought, if I keep walking, nobody's going to give me food. So I have to make my skin thick. I have to stand in front of a stall. I thought I won't go away until she gives. That lady also don't know how to give me. Then the customer told her, hey, oiti kokoi, peiti kokoi. Then she gave me some kueh. I went to the second stall saw the first stall do, she also gave me the kueh. Third stall also gave me the kueh. Then the first lady came running, wanted to give me 2 ringgit. I said, we don't accept money. She was surprised, how come monk don't accept money? Then I walk slowly, past the meat stall, they don't give me. Past the rice stall, they don't give me, because they think monks are vegetarians. So that day I went back to the cave, I ate kueh. Second day I came, also had to eat kueh. Third day I also eat kueh. Fourth day I say, 10 days I had to eat kueh, Then they heard there's a monk staying there. So they thought I was a Thai monk. So they came to visit me. So I explained to them, I said, we Theravada monks who beg for their food, we are not vegetarian. Next day I got nasi lemak. So you see, the Buddha is so wise. The Buddha said, a monk cannot choose your food. If you choose your food, cannot survive. Then after 4 months in that cave, I went to Penang because there was a monk who heard that I was in that cave. And then he asked me to go to Penang. He said, go and to that meditation center in Penang. So I went there. I saw them practicing Vipassana meditation. But I had been practicing Anapanasati because of Hinduism. They call pranayama, which is basically the same thing. So when they learned that I don't want to practice Vipassana, I was only practicing Anapanasati, they kicked me out of the meditation center. Narrow-minded. I guess even if the Buddha came also, they kick him out. Because not practicing Vipassana. So after that, I wanted to go to another Theravada monastery. He also practicing Vipassana. That monk also refused to allow me to stay. So I made some inquiries. I heard there's a cave on Penang Hill, 400 feet up. Consists of two rocks. Two rocks, one resting on the other. So it was started by another monk. So I asked permission. I stayed there. So It was quite interesting. The first night, I went to the corner of the cave, which was quite dark, to light an oil lamp. When I lighted the oil lamp, a being, light flew out. Being probably has been staying there for some time. Nobody staying there. So when I came to stay, he flew out. Then at night when I was sleeping, the first night, I was just about to fall asleep. Body already weak already. Mind also about to doze off already. Somebody came and pulled my ear. Then I woke up. Then I told the being, I said, don't disturb me, please. I didn't come to take your place. You can stay, but you allow me to stay also. Don't disturb me. Whatever merit I transfer to you. Then I fell asleep, he didn't disturb me. Next day, when I was about to fall asleep, come and pull my ear, nose. Again, I told him, please don't disturb me now. But I was not afraid. I see if your karma is good, you got nothing, you have nothing to be ashamed of, no fault. You're not afraid. Again, the next day, same thing happened. Next night, same thing happened. After 4 or 5 nights, my temper keep lai liao. And came to disturb me again, I gave him one punch. After that, never disturbed me anymore. I think I'm one of these elves. Lord of the Rings elf. So he must be staying there, alone for a long time. Suddenly, somebody come, he's not happy. So that was the cave. That cave, I stayed 3 months. Then after that, the monk wanted it back. Then I went to Balai Pulau, the other side of Penang, up on the hill. At first I stayed in one place because I didn't know any other place. Very high. So high, I walked down to the town for Pindapata and walked back 3 hours. And 3 hours on an empty stomach, it's very tiring, You wake up, nothing to eat. And then you walk 3 hours like that. Very tiring. So after 2 weeks, the people saw me. They recommended me another place, not so high. You walk only half an hour up the hill. So I stayed there for 1 year. Then 1989, I decided to go to Thailand again. So I went to Thailand. Also, part of the time, I stayed 4 months in Wat Pananachat and some other months in that cave with the Teochew monks. When I was in Wat Pananachat, I had 2 interesting experiences. One was I followed Ajahn Pasano to the Burmese border. Very near the Burmese border, it's very wild, a lot of forest. When we went there, the people there were very happy. They said, no monk has come here for 8 years because it's so ulu and the place is, the people are so poor, So you don't expect to get good food. First, when we first arrived there, they asked us to go to the cemetery to do some chanting. So we went there, did some chanting. Then we asked them, who is this? This just died. I said, this 24 years old young man. I asked him, died of what? Malaria. That one, 30 years old young man, died of malaria. Very, very serious there. So what do? I drink urine. You drink urine is an antidote for a lot of sickness. It's taught by the Buddha. So there are some monks who didn't drink urine. They got it. They got malaria. Then after that they could not stay anymore. To bring them out. So then when I stayed there, we had to disperse. After we arrived there, we should go in different directions, go far away so that you can't hear the other friend, you can't call for the other friend. We wanted to experience staying alone. At night, you can hear the sound of tiger and all that. Next morning when I woke up, I saw there's a deep hole near where I was sleeping because we arrived in the evening. Quickly had to find a place to sleep. Then I looked closely, it's a grave. The grave sunk in. Then some other monk, because every morning we come together, we meet in a certain place and we go for alms round, beg for our food. So at first, one monk said he put his plastic sheet and put up his mosquito net. When he slept at night, all the ants came to bite him. He didn't know he was sleeping over an hole. So, and then sometimes when you're sleeping, if you don't put your mosquito net under the plastic sheet, sometimes a snake will come in. So you have to be very careful. So we meet and then we went on alms round. The people saw us very happy, Many of them came out to give us food. By the third day, some of them dare not come out already because they're so poor. They got nothing to give you. And some they come out, they just give you white rice only. And some they are so poor, they just give us water. But they give us water also, we are thankful. You know why? Because it's boiled water. Normally, they keep the water in an urn, clay urn, keep for months, And then when they scoop the water for you, you take back the water in your water bottle and you pour out, you want to drink, mosquito larva. So you cannot drink. So if they boil for us the water, we are very happy, no mosquito larva. So we stayed there, I think 1 or 2 months. It's quite a good experience. The other interesting thing is, during that time, sometimes it's going to rain. We know it's going to rain because the wind start blowing. The sky start becoming dark. What do? Our ropes, we are afraid will get wet. We put in the plastic bag, tie it up so you won't get wet. Then we have to hold an umbrella. So if it rains for 2 hours, we have to hold the umbrella for 2 hours. But standing, holding is very tiring. So what we do, we find a log, big tree fallen. We squat on the log, holding the umbrella like a bird. Like a bird on the branch. 1 or 2 hours, never mind. Too long after you fall asleep. So there was another interesting thing in 1989. I went with another monk to a province called Mukdahan, near Laos border. Northeast Thailand, the people are very poor. Because in 1 year, about 4 months or so, no, not a drop of rain. So they quite difficult to find a livelihood. During that time, they will go in a van, go to the forest, look for food, look for bamboo shoots and all that and share. So we went to live on the hill that they built a few kutis for wandering monks to stay. So when we go on alms round, we come back, the people follow us because they are so poor, they want to take back the leftover food, So they open the plastic containing the food that is offered, and then they pour it out into a bowl, then offer it to us. You know what we get? After you see the bowl with toad floating there, frog, the rough skin type of frog, the toad floating like that. And sometimes I don't know whether it's a rat or a snake, one big eye there in the soup, with some broken flesh. And then a beetle, fried beetle, fried beetle. Fried beetle not too bad, tastes like kacang. But the frog, so long I dare not eat. I was there. Then I thought to myself one day, I come so far, this is a once in a lifetime experience. If I don't eat that frog, I regret it. So I closed my eyes and swallowed one frog. At that time, I really wanted to be a vegetarian. But you want to eat fruits also, no fruits. Very small banana and not enough also. So sometimes they say, monks eat meat because they are greedy. You eat this type of meat, you see whether you are greedy or not. I stayed there 3 weeks. After that, I went back to the Teochew monks. They say I was so thin, they could hardly recognize me. Because eating one meal a day is suffering. Every day when it comes to lunchtime, it's a torture to eat. So, at the end of 1989, also because of visa problem, I came back to Malaysia. And then I heard that the cave on Penang Hill, somebody broke into that cave and burned the ropes, burned the chair. Then after that, that monk didn't want it anymore. He was afraid I become drug addicts will go and stay there. So he said, any monk can go and stay. Then I quickly went to stay there. That place is 400 feet below the Itam market. So every day I walk down for arms round, get my food and walk up. Walking up and down every day 400 feet, I was very fit, and knocked my backside, all muscle. So used to walking 400 feet, no sweat. I had to walk very fast to get a bit of sweat. So I stayed there from end of 1989 until 1997. But in 1996, I went to Perth. I stayed in Ajahn Brahm's monastery for 4 months. I went to Perth because I have 3 sisters in Perth. One of them is already a nun in the Perth nunnery. The oldest nun is my sister. So after that, I started this present monastery in Temong. It's called Vihara Buddha Gotama. If you look up the website, you type Vihara Buddha Gotama, you will find. So that our monastery started as a 15-acre monastery. Initially, there were no fence. So every day you see wild boar. It's near a forest reserve. Every day wild boar would come in. And then I heard the sound of the tiger 3 times. And then 2009, a black panther came into the monastery. The novice monk was going down to meditate at 4:30, shining the torch. Beside the road was this black panther crouch. When he shone into his eyes, the black panther ran away. The novice monk also ran away. And then not so long ago, 2015, a wild goat came into our monastery. And the dogs bit it there, went to save it. And then 2 of us carried the wild goat, it was so heavy. 2 of us also had difficulty carrying it. And but it died of shock, too frightened. So our monastery stresses on 2 things. One is sutta study, and of course keeping the precepts. And the other one is meditation. So we have quite a relaxed schedule. But because to me, the true Dhamma is very, very important. Nowadays, our Dhamma is very rojak. A lot of mixed Dhamma due to later books. So the Buddha said that his teachings in the Digha Nikaya, the Buddha said his teachings, his original teachings are perfect and complete. If you think you want to add to his words, you don't understand his Dhamma. If you want to subtract from his words also, you don't understand his Dhamma. So the later books written by later monks, they don't have right view. That's why they say a lot of things are different from what the Buddha taught. So from 1997 until 2015, I've been giving talks on the suttas. I've completed the 5 Nikayas in English, and for the Hokkien one, I spoke on 4 Nikayas. I brought the SD card if any of you interested to listen to these talks, which are most important. The Buddha calls his disciples monks and nuns and laymen and laywomen, Savaka, Senwen. You listen to his words, you are a Buddhist. If you don't listen to the Buddha's original teachings, you are not a Buddhist. There are some people, even monks, during the Buddha's time, like Devadatta, they only want to meditate. Devadatta is one of those monks who quite arrogant. He only wants psychic powers, so he's not interested in the Dhamma. So he meditated until he got psychic powers. But after he got psychic powers, his ego became so big. He wanted to take over the Buddha's place. And the Buddha scolded him. He got so angry, he wanted to kill the Buddha. So that's the danger of meditation. If you don't have right view, don't meditate too much. You must get right view first. And that is only by listening to the suttas. So, now that I've been a monk for, you can say, 35 years, 3 years in Mahayana and 32 years in Theravada, for me, life has been a blessing, because the Buddha said, a wise person benefits himself and benefits others. A stupid person only wants to benefit himself, selfish. So the Buddha's definition of a wise person and a foolish person is different from the worldly definition. A wise person is one who practices his life according to Dhamma, and he will be either reborn only in the human and heavenly realms, and you will never go to the woeful plains, the 3 woeful plains. So if you don't understand the Dhamma, then you do things that you should not do. And things that you should do, you don't do. Recently I went to Philippines. I was teaching Buddhism to these Christians, Catholics mostly. I asked them, what is the biggest sin? Christians always talk about sin. I asked them, what is the biggest sin? Somebody said, kill somebody. I said, no. They don't know how to answer. I told them, the biggest sin is ignorance. Don't take the trouble to find out the truth. Each of us, we should ask ourselves, where did we come from? What made us? After we die, where are we going? A lot of people don't ask these questions when you are young. But when you are dying, then you ask these questions. A lot of people, they chase after worldly, material wealth, fame and all these things. Then suddenly when they are about to die, then they think, I wanted wealth, I got wealth. I wanted a spouse, I got a spouse. I wanted beautiful children, I got beautiful children. I wanted a big house, I got a big house. I wanted 1 or 2 cars, I got everything I got. Grandchildren also I got. Now I have to go. What's the meaning of all this? You struggle so hard to get all these things, but all taken away from you. So, is it worth it? It's not worth it. You must work for those things that you can bring along. Worldly wealth you cannot bring along with you, but spiritual wealth you can bring along. So, you must know what is valuable in life. A lot of people, like recently, who was that? Steve Jobs, is it? When he was dying also, he said he wanted money, he got so much money, but I said, what's the meaning? So for somebody like me, I'm a beggar, the Buddha said, a monk is called a bhikkhu. Bhikkhu, from the word big, big means beg. So the Buddha said, monks, you are called a beggar, the lowest calling in life. But you did not become a beggar because you were forced to become a beggar. You became a beggar because you chose to become a beggar. And for a good reason. So materially, as a monk or a nun, we are poor. But spiritually, we are not poor. So, the happiness we get is a different kind of happiness. It's an inner happiness, not dependent on outside things. If you depend on outside things, in the end you cannot bring along with you. Then it's all meaningless. But if you get the happiness within, you can bring with you. It's a lasting happiness. So, at this stage of your life, young people, you must consider carefully what you want to do with your life. Make it a meaningful life. A meaningful life is the one that not only benefits you, but benefits other people. And in the end, you will realize you lived a good life. Christians say you fought a good battle, a good fight. Brother K. Where's Brother K? Not here. Take some photo. Okay. Any question? In the Bible, there is a parable of a rich man. This rich man wanted to go on a long journey. So he gave wealth to 3 of his workers. He told them to use the wealth well. Then after some time, maybe after a few months or a year, he came back. And then he asked them how they used the money. One returned the money to him, said he saved it carefully. And what he received from his master, he gave back the same amount. The master was not happy with him. Another one, he enjoyed himself using the money. So he had little left to give the master. Master also not happy with him. Another one, he made a lot of money with the money that the master gave. And then he returned to the master. The master was happy with him. What was the meaning of this parable? The meaning of this parable is that we come into life as a human being with a certain amount of blessings. And if you are smart, by the time you go off, when you are dying, you have more blessings than now. But most people are not like that. Most people, they don't know the Dhamma. So they live a selfish life. And as a human being, we are in a happy destination of rebirth. So we eat well, we sleep well. You want to leasing to China, you can. You want to watch internet or TV, whatever you can, videos and all that. And some of you may have 3 or 4 cars in the house. So every day you're using up your blessings, By the time you die, most people, your blessings is reduced. That is why most people, when they die, they are going for rebirth in the ghost realm. You don't have to do any evil. Just live a normal life. Don't do any evil. Still you will go to the ghost realm. That is why you find when most people are dying, they are scared. Why? Because 2 or 3 days before you die, another world will start to surface. Your consciousness will change the channel to another dimension. And most of the time, people will see what Hokkien say, "Oh, here ti lai liang." Your departed relatives coming to welcome you to the ghost realm. It's very true. You just observe people who are dying. You see how many of them are happy. If you see devas and devis coming with a chariot to bring you to heaven, you can smile. But no, these people see grandma, grandpa coming to bring them to the ghost realm. So they are very frightened. Even worse, one devotee, old devotee, told me the auntie has a very nasty character, very bad temper, always cursing relatives because of property division. She didn't get enough. 2 days before she died, the Dracula teeth came out so long. The children got scared. Could not cover the Dracula teeth. 2 days later, when she died, the Dracula teeth disappeared. How come? Because each one of us, we have a linghun inside. Linghun inside. A soul. Some monks say we don't have a soul because they think a soul is permanent. A soul is not necessarily permanent. A soul in the Oxford Dictionary is defined as a spiritual part of man, often assumed to be permanent, not necessarily permanent. So the Buddhist soul is not permanent. So 2 or 3 days before that person dies, this soul is start to come out already. That's why this ghost, because of the character, the woman's character is like a fierce ghost, so she has turned into a fierce ghost inside. So it's coming out. 2 days later when she died, the soul came out, no more teeth. You can't see anymore. But there are some people, even though they don't turn into the fierce ghost, they turn into the ghost. And just 1 or 2 days ago, somebody told me, in Johor Bahru, the father is about to go, the face is turning into a ghost face, frightening. 1 year ago also, one young man, one devotee, told me the mother is dying of cancer. Few days before the mother died, the face also changed to be a ghost face. So you have to be very careful. You are not this flesh body, this flesh body is just a shell. We are the spirit inside. And one day, when your flesh body is too old, you will have to leave it. So the Buddha said, a wise person is one who lives his life so that by the time he dies, he goes for a good rebirth. A stupid person will live his life very carelessly. By the time he dies, he will go for a bad rebirth. If he does evil, he'll be born either as an animal or in hell. But even if he does not do evil, he will most likely be reborn as a ghost. As a young person, you might find it hard to believe because you have not experienced, you have not seen. But as you grow older, you hear about other people's experience. Slowly, you will know. Any questions? Yes. How I came to believe in rebirth. Okay. There is at least 2 persons, more than 2 who have studied rebirth. One is Professor Ian Stevenson. If you look up the name, Professor Ian Stevenson, he's a professor in America. When he hears of somebody who remembers a past life, he will fly to Myanmar or to Thailand or to Sri Lanka, whatever country, and interview that person and find out that some people remember their past life for certain reasons. And usually it's a compelling reason. I read about one lady in Myanmar. Myanmar being a Buddhist country like Thailand, they want the son to become a monk, at least a temporary monk for some time. So this lady, her husband was a gambler, and she had some money, she saved the money for the son to buy robes, to buy the alms bowl to become a monk. 2 sons. She was worried that the husband would take the money and go and gamble it away. So she hid the money. But at the age of 40-something, she suddenly got sick and died. So after she passed away, she was reborn as a girl in another village. And when she started to be able to talk, she kept asking to go back to her home. And her new parents at first found it hard to believe, but she keeps saying, and she knows exactly where is the village, her former life. So they brought her back now. When she went back to her whole house, she confronted the husband. She said, "Did you take the money for our son to become a monk?" The husband got a shock now. "Who's this small girl talking to me like my wife?" And slowly he understood. Then he confessed. He took the money, went to gamble it away. So you see, because of this compelling reason, she does not want to forget. There's another person, I think Egerton Baptist. You go to a Buddhist bookshop, you find a book called Rebirth, I think, by Egerton Baptist. There are many stories. Like some children, they can speak in a language that their parents don't know. Some children, very young, they can play a musical instrument. All this got to do with past life.
Any more questions for Bhante?
Can you repeat that? So your question is, Ajahn Buddhadasa, when he talks about rebirth, he's talking about moment-to-moment rebirth. There are 2 ways of looking at it. One is the body dying and taking rebirth, the being. Another way is to talk about consciousness. Consciousness, most people, we think that consciousness is an unending stream. We think that consciousness starts at birth and then it lasts the whole life until we die, and then the consciousness stops. But the Buddha said it's not like that. Consciousness arises due to conditions, due to sights, sounds, smells, taste, touch and thoughts. When an object impinges on your sense organ, then that consciousness arises. For example, seeing consciousness, hearing consciousness and all that. Okay? So when consciousness arises, it arises with nama rupa. And nama rupa is the whole world. Once you are conscious of the whole world. So we think that we are living, for example, if you at the age of 75 you pass away. So you think that you are living for 75 years. Another way of looking at it is that the moment your consciousness arises, you are alive. The moment it ceases, you are dead. Moment it arises, you are alive. Then it ceases, you are dead. So there are 2 ways of looking at it. Okay?
Are there any more questions for Bhante on this one?
Yes.
Just something that you say about marriage. What are the best marriage and highest marriage that we should perform and do?
Okay, good question. How to get married, blessings. The Buddha gave a formula, Dana, Sila, Bhavana. Dana is charity, giving. And giving, when you give something, it is expected that you will get a vipaka, a return. The Buddha said if you give to an animal, for example, a bowl of rice, you can expect to get back 100 bowls of rice. If you give to a person who has no precepts, a person who is not morally virtuous, for example, a drug addict, you give to him, you can expect to get back 1,000 times what you gave. If you give to a morally upright person, a person with precepts, you can expect to get back 100,000 times what you gave. If you give to an external ascetic who has attained jhana, who has cut his sensual lust, even though he does not have right view, you can get back 100,000 times 100,000 fold. If you give to Arya, a noble person, is boundless, you get back boundless. So that is, but the highest material giving is giving of a monastery or a dwelling for the Sangha. Because when you give to the Sangha, a dwelling, then you perpetuate the Sangha. The Sangha will continue, monks and nuns. And when the Sangha continues, the Dhamma will also continue. Because the Sangha is the one that transmits the Dhamma. So that is the highest material giving. But higher than giving is Sila. Sila is upholding the precepts, not harming other living beings. And the important precepts is 7 precepts. These 7 precepts are found in the Aryan Eightfold Path, also called the Aryan Sila. Right speech, right action, and right livelihood. If you investigate these 3 factors, it is 7 precepts. 3 body precepts and 4 verbal precepts. But the highest still is Bhavana. Bhavana people often translate as meditation. It is not only meditation. Bhavana is the 6, 7 and 8 factor of the Aryan Eightfold Path. Right effort and right mindfulness and right concentration. Right effort and right mindfulness is to develop your character. Bhavana, the word means development. So it is development of your character, because if you practice these 2, right effort and right mindfulness, you will get rid of unwholesome states of mind. And you will develop wholesome states of mind. Unwholesome states of mind, like greed, anger, hatred, revenge, jealousy, small-heartedness, selfishness, arrogance, all these things will bring you to the woeful planes of rebirth, to the ghost realm, animal realm, and hell realm. Wholesome states of mind is like kindness, generosity, compassion, meekness, humility, generosity. All these will bring you up for a good rebirth. So if you practice right mindfulness and right effort, you develop your character. Your character is very important, because your character will determine your linghun, your soul. How your soul is shaped is according to your character. And character is so important. The Buddha said, if you want to be reborn in heaven, you have to siu sing now, cultivate yourself until you become a Deva or a Devi now. Don't wait until you go to heaven to become a Deva or a Devi. Now you have to become a Deva or a Devi inside. Then the moment you die, the Deva and the Devi inside will go to heaven. That is what siu sing is about. Siu sing is siu sing wei. So, Sing Wei is your character, your conduct, change your conduct. So, this is development of the character. And right concentration is development of the 4 jhanas. When you attain the jhanas, concentration, your mind is got rid of the 5 hindrances. The 5 hindrances make us blur, make us have no wisdom, lead us away from Nibbana, the Buddha said. Make us of blindness. You can't see properly. It's like an unfocused mind. But when you develop concentration, your mind becomes focused. Then you have wisdom. Not only that, when you attain the jhanas, you have transcended the sensual realm and you've gone to the Brahma realm, the Rupa Loka. You have become like a higher Deva. So that is development of mind. Getting right concentration is development of mind. Both are important. Development of character and development of mind. That's the meaning of bhavana. That's the highest merit. Because if you practice bhavana, you can become an Arya. Once you become an Arya, the 3 woeful planes are closed. You'll never be reborn ever again as a ghost, an animal, or in hell. You'll only be reborn as a human being and a Deva or Devi. And then your blessings, your merit will be very great. You come back, you have long life. Ayu vano sukhang balang. You have long life. You are beautiful. You are happy, extremely happy. And you become famous and you have power. So the greatest blessing is bhavana. You see somebody like Angulimala, the bandit, he killed several hundred people. So he should have gone to hell. But because of the Buddha went to him, taught him the Dhamma, and he understood and he became a monk. After becoming a monk, he practiced very hard. Then became an Arahant. He didn't have to repay all that evil that he did.
Bhante Hye, I want to ask is what I learned in Buddhism before is that your karma will determine where you rebirth, where you are reborn to. So, if for example, if I were to be a diligent Dhamma practitioner, I uphold my precepts, I uphold my 5 precepts, I do charity deeds, and I be a good Dhamma practitioner. And then, like what you say, when we accumulate good karma, we'll be either be reborn in the Deva realm or the human realm. But is it possible that let's say I accumulated my merits and I make an aspiration for my rebirth, like because I don't want to be reborn. Like let's say I have lots of merit, but I don't want to be reborn in the Deva realm. I still want to come back to the human realm and practice Dhamma in the human realm. And also I would like to have let's say I do a lot of donations. So in Buddhism we have one teaching called 众合一得合果. So that means if I do a lot of donations, I would most likely be a rich person in my next life. So is it possible that instead of becoming a rich person in my next life, using my merits, I aspire to be reborn in a family that is of virtues and of moral conduct, and then from there on, I will also be reborn in a family of who practices the Buddha Dhamma, so that in next life I can also be a Buddhist again. Is it possible?
Provided you have the blessings, the merit, when you make an aspiration, it is possible. If you don't have the merit, you make an aspiration, it's not possible. Just like if you think you want to be reborn in the heaven, but you don't keep your precepts, you don't do charity, but you recite Amitabha and you think you want to be reborn in heaven, it's not possible. In the Buddha's teachings, the Buddha said, what we want in life, we cannot get by praying for it. We cannot get by making vows. We cannot get by crying for it. The Buddha said, if can get, why is there so much suffering in the world? The hell beings are crying every day. The hell beings are crying out so loud. Who is helping them? The ghosts are crying at night because they are walking on the streets, nothing to eat. They have to eat the dead frog, have to eat the dead chicken, have to eat the dead lizard. Nothing to eat, they have to go to the jamban, the toilet, to eat the shit. Who is helping them? Nobody is helping them. Because cannot help them, because life is like a dream. When you are having a nightmare, nobody can help you because you are inside your nightmare. The other person is not inside your nightmare. Nobody is inside your nightmare. So it's the same in life. The Buddha said, what we want in life, we have to work for it. For example, the Buddha gave 3 striking similes. I give you 2. One is the Buddha said somebody wants to get oil. So he takes sesame seed, jima, mochi. Then he grind the sesame seed. Then he will get oil. Whether he prays for it or he does not pray for it, he'll get oil. Whether he makes a vow or he does not make a vow, he gets oil. But somebody seeing from far, you see the jima, sesame seed is so small, he thought he want to copy. He takes sand, he go and grind the sand. Can he get oil? He cannot get oil. He prays for it, can he get? Can Kuan Yin help him to get oil? He cannot. Make a vow, can he get? He cannot. Because you are doing the wrong thing, the Buddha said. So the Buddha said in the same way, somebody wants butter. He takes milk, he churns that butter. After a while, the butter become like yogurt, become like curd. Keep on churning, and then it becomes butter. So the Buddha said, he doesn't have to pray, doesn't have to make vow, he will get butter. But another person doesn't understand, he takes water, churn the water, 100 years or so he cannot get. He prays for it, also cannot get. Make vow, also cannot get. Why? Because he's not doing the right thing. So the Buddha said, you must understand how to get what you want and do the right thing. Suppose as a student in the university, you want to get all A's for your subject. You go and pray to Tua Pek Kong, can get or not? Pray to Dato Kong, can get or not? Pray to whatever Kong Kong, also you won't get. Because that's not the right way to get it.
Sir, sorry. Forgive me by sounding ignorant. Can I ask if the reason why the Buddha taught rebirth is because at that point in time when Buddhism, when Buddha got enlightened, right, everybody understood the cosmology as Hindu cosmology. So basically it was a way for the Buddha to teach, make the teachings understandable to the Hindus at that point in time. Is it possible? Is that the reason why he taught rebirth?
If you say it is understood by the Hindus, then you don't have to say, Everybody knows about rebirth. No, the Buddha was trying to tell us because a lot of people, they don't believe in rebirth because they don't see. So the Buddha is trying to say there is rebirth, and there is happy destinations of rebirth, there are woeful destinations of rebirth. That is why you have to be careful in life. Don't do the wrong things, unwholesome karma that will bring you to a place of suffering. The Buddha is very compassionate. He wants to help us to reduce our suffering. So he's telling us many things that we don't know. When you learn the Dhamma, then you know many things. Actually, even certain things that Jesus Christ said, a lot of Christians, they don't know. For example, in the Bible it says, make your eye one. Make thine eye one. It's to open your third eye. And then Jesus said, you have 7 temples within you. In your body, there are 7 temples. These are the chakra points in Hinduism. And then they try to eliminate this teaching about rebirth in the Bible But the early Christian fathers, they believe in rebirth. Only later it was deleted. But still there is one gospel according to St. John, I think chapter 5, where a priest came to see Jesus at night. And then he asked Jesus, he said, Lord, is it true that man must be reborn again before he can enter the kingdom of God? And Jesus said, truly I say unto you, unless a man be born again, he cannot enter the kingdom of God. Then this man said, what? You mean a person must enter the womb again? Again the Jesus said, yes, truly I say, unless a man be born of water and of spirit, he cannot enter the kingdom of God. Now what is this born of water and of spirit? The Christians say, born of water, you must be baptized. Born of spirit, when you go for Mass, you have to drink the wine. But in the Buddha's teachings, there are 4 types of rebirth. You can be reborn from the egg, you can be reborn from the womb, you can be reborn from water or vapor, and you can be reborn from the spirit. Is direct transformation without going through any intermediate stage. So the Buddha says that the womb born is the lowest. The egg born is the lowest. Higher than that is the womb born. Higher than that is the vapor born or water born. And higher than that is the born of the spirit, direct transformation. So the womb born is like a human. So higher than human is the deva. So like born of the vapor, born of water, maybe cloud devas. In the cloud, vapor, they are reborn there. And then higher devas is directly they are reborn there. So a lot of things the Buddha taught just to help us reduce suffering. The Buddha, one day he took some earth on his fingernail, and then he asked his monks, you see this on my fingernail, is it more of the soil in the whole earth? Then they said, on your fingernail is so little compared to the whole earth. The Buddha said, in the same way, what I teach is so little, what I know is so much. The Buddha said, I only teach the 4 noble truths, because the Buddha wants us to reduce our suffering. A lot of things he doesn't want to talk about because it cannot help you.
Since you're talking about rebirth, how about people who actually commit suicide? What will happen?
A person who commits suicide is full of dukkha. And why is he full of dukkha? Sometimes because he did something wrong. Sometimes because he does not have enough blessings. So after he commits suicide, it's more likely to be reborn in the ghost realm. Committing suicide, you're not harming anybody by harming yourself. So sometimes people say, if you commit suicide, then you keep on committing suicide. I don't think it's true. Cannot be true. Why? Because there are some people like me, you bring me up very high and I look down a few hundred feet, I get soft feet. I get frightened, you look down. Why? Because previous life probably have already fallen so from a height. So when you see, you're scared. Similarly, if a person commits suicide, when he falls down, I had a friend who committed suicide from the 17th floor. He came down and he smashed his head. So you imagine, just before he died, he experienced the pain, so great the pain. You think it doesn't stay with him? It stays. Next time you bring him so high, probably he look down, he gets so scared, he dare not go near the ledge. You're not likely to do it again. Just like some people, you give them the opportunity to commit adultery, they dare not do it. Why? Maybe previous life they suffered for it, next time they dare not do. You give some people the opportunity to slaughter a chicken, so they dare not do because previously they suffered for it. So life, we come again and again, we learn our lessons. As we learn, certain things we dare not do again.
Okay, so we have come to the end of the talk. Thank you, Bhante, so much for the enlightening sharing. Can we pay 3 prostrations to Bhante, please?